Hey everybody, welcome back to this Let's Play of Final Fantasy II for the PlayStation. I am Drak. Let's get to it, shall we? So, in the last couple of parts, we've been dealing with the Mysidian Tower, trying to get the Ultima Scroll, and we are almost done. We're to the last few floors. I know I keep on saying that, but this time I kind of mean it. I mean, we've taken care of the 3 biggest bosses in this area. Now we just have to go and claim the Ultima Scroll, and that shouldn't take too long. And all the while, I'm getting my butt handed to me by basilisks. But at least I can say, unlike Harry Potter, I took down 4. He only took down 1. He's a wimp. I took down 4 basilisks, man. Step it up a notch, Harry. Take out another one. It's not like they're rare or something. But in the meantime, while we are making our way, just to give people kind of a point of reference, this is actually like a couple of days later from when I recorded the last part. And I know at least somewhat some of the things that I was discussing in them. I think I'd gotten to God of War Ascension and Arkham City with you guys. The other games that I've been able to play recently have been Final Fantasy 13-2, and I'm not having a big problem with it. I think I mentioned that I did do like some of the DLC purchases. I purchased some costumes. One of which I do use because the outfit that they give Sarah is kind of ridiculous in that game. And so I actually just got something that was, at least in my opinion, less ridiculous. Although I did go for some of the more ridiculous costumes. For example, I got the N7 armor for both Noel and Sarah. At one point, maybe like when I actually do, if I do a Let's Play of 13-2, I'm just going to have them in N7 armor. And you'd be like, there's no problem here, is there? So like, BioWare bought Square Enix, right? That's why we can get N7 armor. I have no life, but I was tempted to go and get the Ezio costume as well for Noel. And I drew the line there. I'm like, no. No, I'll get the N7 armor. I'm not doing the other way around. And I will say this right here and now. I will probably experiment with a couple of the other Sarah costumes, but never am I going to get that freaking bikini, man. That's... oh my gosh. Like, I get the premise of doing stuff like that, and it may work in Japan. It doesn't work for me, especially with that kind of a bikini. I'm just like, I actually want to respect the characters. I don't need them in skimpy outfits, you know. I'm contradicting myself here, because, I mean, every other outfit, I think aside from the White Mage one is... and the White Mage one is kind of skimpy, but... in the fact that it's all skin tight, but... you know, that's kind of the problem that you run into with games like this. Anyway, you guys don't care about the DLC. Let's get into the actual story of it. I'm liking it so far. I think I've covered it once before on this Let's Play. And so I think at that point I had played through Valhalla, which is kind of the tutorial stage to help get you reacquainted with the 13 battle system, which it really seems to me like they're still using at this point. I don't have a problem with that. I had no problem with the battle system, other than, you know, if you got to certain boss fights, it was a pain in the butt. But the Valhalla segment was cool. It was over the top, but it was cool. And then I've done a few episodes in it. And, let's see, I'm trying to think of the last thing I did was I just barely met a 10 years older Hope, which was cool, because actually Hope was one of the characters I came to respect later in the game. So it was cool to talk to him again. It's cool to have those interactions, and I hope that I get more, because right now the only ones that I'd ever seen were Hope and Snow, and oh, no, story. You have come at last. We're gonna go back into story mode. The magic seal on this door is strong. I will give it all I have. I'm not going for an Indian accent. I'm going for Haji. Johnny Quest, people. Johnny Quest. Stand back! Alright, so we're trying to take care of the seal on the door to the room with the Ultima Scroll. And boom! Ah! Magical struggle! Eat your heart out, Harry Potter. Wow, that was so much it knocked the wind out of Mindu. Oh no! You just barely realized he fell back. Good work, party. Mindu! I have fulfilled my duty. The door has opened. Now, go! Mindu! Come! Sorry, I had to do it. So now we've had kind of our second death. Because I think our first was Joseph. Actually, technically, our first was Gordon's brother, but I'm taking party member deaths. The crystal responded, I shall give thee power. These are really cool things. They're stat increases that the game will give you at this point to help with endgame. But yes, now we've had Mindu pass on. And this one's going to give us agility, I think. Yep. And so it's a sad death because obviously he gave us all, but, you know, this just kind of helps onto the theme of this is a war, and in wars there are casualties and sacrifices, and that's why, like, I appreciate kind of the deaths in this game to some extent. I like how Joseph passes on. I like how Mindu passes on in this game because they're all for the cause. Or for saving lives. I shall give thee the forbidden spell. And so now we have the Ultima Scroll. And if you guys haven't figured out who's going to get this, I don't know what to tell you. Because the Ultima Scroll, either now or later, will be going to Maria. Now, I know somebody's probably screaming out there, well, why not give some attack magic to Furion so that way he can help out too? I don't want to do that, especially since my cure spell is really high. So if I have to resort to it, it's going to suck. Because I can't just sit there and cast Ultima all the time, or cast Flare. But that is it for the Massidian Tower. So we are done with that, and now our next objective, obviously, is we've got to head back to Finn. Because now we have the ultimate spell, so we need to actually start applying it. But anyway, back to 13.2. I like it. I'm not that far into it, but I do like the fact that some of these incidents, these paradoxes, are episodic in nature. The whole game feels kind of episodic, and I don't mind that, but this game could have done anything, but time travel always makes me worry in a game. You know, unless it's like Back to the Future where I know it's going to be entertaining, time travel is always a problem in games. And so that's one of the things that I worry about, especially when some of the premise is, in these episodes, you are fixing the timeline because there's something there that shouldn't be. And so you gotta go find it. And again, it's just, time travel is always hard in games. I also do like the concept in the battle system of the third. I was wondering how they were going to do this with just 2. I knew that you could recruit monsters, but I didn't realize that, like, they were really easy to get. So I like that concept because each monster that you collect is, pardon me guys, I'm trying to bring up the map, but I can't remember how. And that's it. There we go. Now we have the map. I like the fact that each monster that you get is actually assigned a specific role. And that's actually one of the things I really liked about that battle system is the paradigms. Is being able to set people to a specific rhythm. If they're a commando, they have a specific role in that fight. If they're Ravager, if they're Medic, they have their own roles. I like the fact that each monster has its own role. And holy crap, if you're looking around, like, towns are annihilated. What is going on? Altair and Poft and Paloom are gone. Oh, and there's Gatrea. It's gone too. What on earth is going on here? Oh, wait. What's that? The Empire is going to pay. Like, it was one thing to walk into Altair early on when they had the Dreadnought and see the buildings kind of annihilated. Now, everything's looking like crap just hit the fan. If anybody had any guess as to whether or not we were hitting endgame, now it kind of is clear. We are hitting endgame in Final Fantasy II because the escalation is hit almost its entire peak in a war. So, back to 13-2, obviously. Well, we're almost done with this battle. I'll probably wait a little bit until the 13-2 discussion. Right now, I just will sum up. I'm liking it. I'm not that far, but I'm liking it. I wish there was more stuff with lightning, but I'm overall liking the story that I'm following. I'm just hoping in the middle I can actually return to Valhalla and play as lightning some more. And what is going... Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe this isn't the Empire. Yeah, that looks like it's... That looks like it's a natural disaster, but it's staying in place, so what does that mean? Maybe that's the cause of all the towns being destroyed. Let's go talk to Hilda and Gordon and see what's going on. Second floor! And people will also be very happy to... People may be wondering why I didn't put Layla in the count. Hold on. We made you retrieve the Ultima Scroll, but I am afraid the Cyclone will swallow us all before we can use it. Oh, Cyclone, okay. So let's go ahead and memorize Cyclone and ask him about it. Alright, Gordon, what's a Cyclone? It will be impossible to permeate the wall of wind from the ground. I get that. What's going on with it? Alright, maybe Hilda will answer us. And here's Layla. When that storm came and the ship broke off, I thought I lost you all for good. Dear Lord of the Seas. Yes, Layla was not in my death count, and there's a reason. She's not dead. Alright. The Emperor has created a cyclone and has already destroyed Altair, Gatrea, Paloom, and Poft. It is now coming to Fynn. Alright, so now we know it is Empire created. So, guess where we gotta go next? The Emperor himself must be controlling the cyclone. Yeah, which means we probably gotta go inside. So at this point, we actually need to figure out how to get inside because, like Gordon said, we can't get in that way. We also probably will bring up the Ultima Scroll to Hilda. Now she doesn't know. She sent us out on an assignment, man. She doesn't know what it is anymore. Actually, I think the next thing... Long ago, people used to reflect the light of the pendant on the castle's mirror to call a dragoon and his Windrake. So this is kind of the next step, is now we actually need to go and use that mirror that we found earlier when we invaded Fynn. And the reason we need to use it is, now that we have a dragoon, hopefully the Windrake is big enough that he can fly us through the cyclone. But let's find out. So we're actually just making our way to the mirror. And here we are. This is the chamber. So all we have to do is shine the pendant in front of the mirror. Okay, so now we just gotta look up the pendant. The mirror is absorbing the light emanating from the pendant. Okay. And through our magic and our powers combined, we summon Captain Planet. Actually, no, not really. We summoned a dragon, though. So it's no longer an egg, now it is a dragon. Or a full-on Windrake. A reflection of a Windrake can be seen in the mirror. It is the Windrake hatched from the dragon's egg. Alright, so now we know it was the egg, and we hatched it. So now it's a full-on dragon. The Windrake is flying towards Fynn. And is it time? Is it time for, yes, a cutscene! Really well-animated cutscene, too. Again, I will compliment this remake on this concept alone. The cutscenes are awesome. Alright, so now our friend the Windrake has come. He's a fully healthy one, unlike his mommy, who was very hurt. And Gareth can communicate with it. So the Dragoon and Windrake were brought together at last. So we get help from Dice after all. Okay, now that the Windrake is here, that's actually our passage into the Cyclone. But in the meantime, we also do need to take care of one quick concept in Fynn, in the town of Fynn. Because there is a little cache of treasure that is now available to us. From, actually, our good friend, Ninja Pavel. I want to just call him Pavel, but he's a freaking ninja. What ninja named themselves Pavel? Can't wait till we get a little further along and then we have a legit ninja join the party. And if people notice that I'm cutting a little bit, it's because I was wandering around, making sure I didn't miss, like, chests or anything like that. The same thing's going to happen in Pavel's house, too. I actually forgot how you get him to give you the stash. Give us your stash, Pavel. Give us your stash. Okay, so here is Pavel. Look, I gotta be honest. Your next target is a Cyclone. I don't know how you can get that one. We got the Dreadnought. We got the friggin' Ultima Scroll. What makes you think a Cyclone can stand in our way at this point, dude? But okay, so after wandering around a little bit, look, I gotta be honest. So, oh please, now you're going inside that thing? I tell ya. I know, Pavel, we're all insane. Well, maybe I can help you. I'll give you my treasure. Search the wall next to the bed. Alright, cool. So now we have a little bit of a treasure cache next to his bed. Hey, I'd do that too. It's quite a few chests. So now we have a ninja suit. We have thief gloves. We have elixirs. Silver plate. We have a blood sword. Gold hairpin. Inventory. Yeah, item coverage! Now, people might be wondering, is the blood sword the same thing as it was in the first game? Yes, but this time it's significantly weaker. So we will not even use it. We'll probably sell it. I know, I sell rare items as if they were going out of style. I apologize, people. Normally, like, when we get to later games where they have a little bit more meaning, I won't get rid of them that easy, but in these games, it's not so much. It's actually detrimental. Because, like, the time you get the blood sword in the first game, you're still dealing with the Earth Fiend, and everything is undead, and if you use the blood sword on undead, it hurts you and heals them. So, you don't want to use it then. Here, it's just incredibly weak, so we just aren't going to use it. There's no reason to do it. Right now, I'm just subbing out a lot of the armor that I just barely got and discarding some of the other stuff since I'm trying to clear out my item cap. And nobody can use the Thief's Glove. That's really disappointing. I mean, it's not even a glove that gives you a steal ability or anything like that. It's just Thief's Gloves. Gives you a little agility boost. Gold plate and ruby plate. Okay, so we're just going to go through these really quick. Are any of them helpful? Not really. If anything, we can sell them and get better items. But since I already did that beforehand, it's not really going to matter much, I'm afraid. But we want to at least get this cash. Because we did get the ninja suit out of it. And that's a good one for Furion. Is it the best thing he could possibly get? No, but this will do. It's hard, because at this point, weapons and armor, since we're in endgame, the best stuff is in dungeons. So at this point, we're going to use what we can, but we're going to be replacing it as we go along. Because the best stuff is yet to come. Since we're hitting endgame, we're getting close to like final weapons, final armor, all that fun stuff. And 4,000 gold for the blood sword, or gil. Sorry, wow, gold. Been playing way too many MMOs. 4,000 gil for for a blood sword beast. I know in other games it sells better than that. Because normally, I'll admit this, I usually get rid of the blood sword in most games because I can't use it. I don't like the one problem with it. And actually past, I don't think it shows up after 5 or 6. And then in 7 it's never there, I don't think. Because I think at that point Square realized, yeah, we don't really like this sword. We don't like the attributes and nobody wants to use it. Gee, where do you get that idea from? No idea. Alright, so now that we've taken care of all this stuff, let's go ahead and head into the Cyclone. While getting attacked in the process. So let's get back into Final Fantasy XIII 2. From what I have played, I like. The only thing, like I said, I do not think is going to work out very well is wibbly-wobbly timey-wimey. Time travel is so hard to do in games and make it valid. Especially the whole concept of when you solve a paradox. It's a weird puzzle mini-game, and it seems kind of pointless to me, but right now the game is very 70-30 for me. The story is what bugs me, but the gameplay right now feels refined. It feels like they fixed a lot of the problems. I'm not one of the people that had a problem with the whole final hallway deal. It's fine, as far as I'm concerned. And we're actually gonna get another cutscene here, going into the Cyclone. This is really cool. So there is literally a fortress inside the Cyclone. 'Cause Final Fantasy, why not? Let's put a frickin' fortress. I mean, dude, we had the Sky Fortress in the previous game. So it only makes sense that Palamecia put a fortress in the middle of a frickin' tornado. Or hurricane. Let's go with Cyclone. But yeah, I'm liking it thus far, but I think one thing that I was able to play recently will excite some people. I finally got back into Dragon Warrior 2. Got quite a bit farther, too. I grinded Nana up so that she could at least hold her own, and then I think where I last left off, I was doing stuff in the continent of Alefgard, which is supposedly the continent you spend a majority, or you spend the first game at. So it was really cool to go back to like Tentacle Castle, and you actually have to go back to Draco Lord's castle and see its ruins. I actually found that very fun and interesting. I also found it interesting that at the bottom, or where you killed the original Draco Lord, there's a little chest there with the Loto Sword in it. I'm like, the Chosen Blade is here in the villain's castle. I wonder why that is. Overall, I'm liking the story. It's very cool. It disappoints me a little bit that Draco Lord isn't the villain again. In fact, you go and meet his, I think it was his grandson, and he's kind of a good guy. And the only reason he's a good guy is because the villain there, I think it's Herod or Harad, he doesn't want him winning. So he helps you. Because then at that point he can have it out with you. I found that a little entertaining, you know. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. But overall, it's got a very kooky story, and I'm loving every second of it. Grinding is a little tedious, as it was in the first game, but since the party's smaller, like in this game, and in Final Fantasy II, all the stuff that goes into grinding makes this a very tedious process. I don't get that impression in Dragon Warrior 2 at all. It's a very streamlined grinding process. So, overall, yes, I'm liking it. I think the last time I looked into it, I'm about halfway through the story. So, you know, take what you will of that. Let's see if I can actually bring it up. I actually do take a log of where I'm at. I'm getting ready to go into the lighthouse, if people know where that is. So, at that point, I think when I was reading the Game Facts guide I was about halfway through, which is cool. And I think if it keeps up in this pace, I will go on to Dragon Warrior 3. I have heard the possibility that Dragon Warrior 10, the MMO, is going to be coming here. I probably won't pick it up. MMOs take a lot of time and effort. I didn't even pick up Final Fantasy 11 or 14. I've only played 1 to 2 MMOs in my life, and we're going to keep it at that. They're way too complex. But we're actually out of time for this week, so in the meantime, next week we are going to be going further into the Cyclone and actually have a confrontation with the Emperor of Palamecia himself. So we'll see you next time. Once again, I am Drak, and this is a Let's Play of Final Fantasy II for the PlayStation.